What do you do? This in Georgian can be an opening question to many conversations. That is why it is truly worth to know it, to understand how it is built, and maybe to be able to answer it and to conjugate verb to be. And this everything we will cover in today's episode. And if you watch it for the first time, my name is Asia Juba and I'm the owner of Języcznie Kaukazu, Languages of the Caucasus. I'm also author of study books for Georgian language, also our newest one, 50 Georgian verbs. And this is a series of for Georgian for beginners. And all of the episodes are also in the form of articles that you will find on our website. Link for that you will find in the description of this particular episode. Okay, so let's get started today's lesson. There are not many really phrases with the verb to do as it is, for example, in English. However, it is still quite useful as I would say like a universal verb to know it in Georgian, especially that it may be used, for example, when you forget different verbs, different activities. So the good news is for all of students of Georgian language is that this verb is a regular one. So as a result, knowing the conjugation rules, then it will be much easier for you to learn it. And other way around, also, if you know already this particular conjugation, then you may use it also with other verbs. So it's like win-win situation here. Exactly. So how to conjugate verb to be in present tense, because this will be the first part that we will learn today. So let's start with the easiest option, so the infinitive. The infinitive of to do in Georgian is gak-eteba. And the infinitive form gives you already two useful pieces of information. The first one is that there is like prefix, the small part ga in the beginning, and that will be very, very useful in future tense, in past simple aorist, and also in the form that is called optative, for example. So, more kafshirebiti. The other option, the other part is that there is an ending eba. So if you see a verb that also is ending, infinitive ending with eba, gaketeba, then it will be probably conjugating the similar way. Okay, so we know it. So let's look at the conjugation as such. And for that, you will here see the conjugation. Remember that you do not have to do any print screens or stop it and write it down. You can just go to the article on our website, link for that in the description. So then you will have the whole conjugation in the present tense. And if you wanted to have it in 5 different forms, so in 3 tenses, so then our book 50 Georgian verbs is for you the best option to have it, because also this verb to do it is conjugated with the examples how to build sentences around it. Okay, so now the conjugation. So I will be, as always in this series, telling you, reading it out loud, and then for you is to remember and to learn it. So it is like that. Me vaketep, shen aketep. Is aketebs. Čven vaketept. Tkven aketept. Isini aketeben. So as you may notice, or you have already maybe noticed, the conjugation itself is quite simple. It is not something extravagant as far as Georgian verbs are concerned. Additionally, I would say cases-wise, there are not that many complex challenges. So if you are not familiar yet with Georgian cases, so there are 7 different forms, like 7 cases of Georgian nouns and adjectives. And we will have as well like an introductory video about it. If you want to go and learn a little bit about it, already on our website we have already article about that part. So what was already also included as well, this is personal pronouns. So for the pronouns we have already video, so you may go there after watching this particular one if you need a revision, let's say like that. So we have conjugated verb, but to build sentences, we need to know how to say I do something in Georgian. Yes, so how to do it? So then what we miss in general, from this conjugation, we miss the cases. So, contrary to English, in Georgian, each verb and verb's subject and object, they are declined. So, they are changing depending on which form this particular verb I would say expects subject and object to have. So, for example, in particular situation of our verb to do, we have that the subject, so the person doing something, it will be in the first form, in the first case. And what we do, like for example, I do homework, I do my chores, etc. So that will be in the third form, in the third case. The case, this is a grammatical name for that. And you may say, like, imagine if you do not know, you are not aware of yet the concept of cases, because in your language, for example, there are no cases, nothing is changing with the nouns, or for example with adjectives, or with numbers. So then imagine like there are 7 different forms, and then you have to, with different verbs, use, or different situations, use different forms. So we have like that. For example, I do homework. How would it look like in Georgian? It will be me sashinao davalebas vaketep. It is me vaketep. We know it already. I do. And I do homework. The sashinao davaleba, this is in the first form, like how you will find it in the dictionary. But when we put it in a sentence together with the verb to do, then we have to change it a little bit, like to put it in the third form, in the third case. About third cases, we have already planned a separate video about it, and already on our website there is a separate article about it as well. So if you do not want to wait for the video, that will come in several weeks probably, so then you can go to our website for that. As always, link it is in the description to the website. So we have the phrase sashinao davaleba, and this is exactly, as I said, declined in the third case, but the subject here is this me. It will be in the first case, so it will be in the first form, exactly the first form. This is how you find words in the dictionary. So how to ask, what do you do? Because if we have the answer, then it is quite essential to learn the question as well, because you cannot answer if you do not ask and understand the question. This is obvious probably. So how to ask, what do you do in Georgian? So knowing already the conjugation and necessary these forms of the other words of nouns, etc. So the cases, let's move to the question, how we use it to formulate. So all we need additionally is the word ra, and ra, it means what, but as we had with this homework, it was in the third case, so exactly like that we need to have what also in the third form, so it will be ras. And the whole question, then it will be ras aketep, ras aketep. This is exactly how we construct, and if you hear something like that, then it means that it is your answer. Of course, I do something, etc., or just to use different verb for it. So maybe just to that, you may hear additional information. For example, what do you do today, what do you do in Georgia, what do you do in the afternoon, etc. So here, just to have exactly the phrase that you have already learned several seconds ago, and to that you can build other additional, I would say, pieces of information based on the vocabulary that you have, or depending on the conversation that you will have. So this is one of the options that we may hear. So what do you do? Of course, we may ask what he's doing, what they are doing, etc. So this is obviously, we just change the verb there, but we may also ask who is doing something. And for that, we need the word vin. Vin, it means in Georgian who, and as it was that the subject person doing something with this verb was in the first form, exactly this question, like the word meaning the question, will be in the third case. That is why it will be vin.
Vin aketepsaši nav davalebas, for example, who is doing homework. Yeah, so that is how we can say it. So nothing is changing from the perspective of the whole construction and the whole pattern. That is why it is very, very essential and very useful, I would say, quite useful when you are learning the patterns, because then you may just add different words when you are just boosting your vocabulary. So that is how it is. For today, you know already how to ask a question, you know how to ask two questions, isn't it? And you know how to answer and conjugate this verb. If you want to revise it once again, to repeat it, to make notes out of it, because I may understand that it was quite fast if you heard it for the first time. So in that case, go to our website, to the article, and just read it through. Also, what we have under each article, and we are doing like step by step adding it, we have something like quizzes. So those are 4 up to 6 small questions about this particular topic, and you may check your knowledge. This is what we also post on YouTube, and we post it on our Instagram and Facebook each and every Friday, depending on the topic that we have each week. And then based on that, we also add it as it was in social media. Then we are adding it to our website, so you may find there as well those quizzes. This is a short form also to check whether you understand it, whether maybe you have to revise it, something additionally, etc. Yeah, so that is the option. The last, if you want to work more with the verbs, we have 2 options for you. The first is to join our Caucasian mail, so our newsletter, and then you will get as a PDF file, you will get the tables with the patterns of 3 groups conjugated, 3 verb groups conjugated in Georgian. And if you like our materials, maybe then our newest book, this 50 Georgian verbs, will be also, I would say, beneficial for you, especially if you are not only just starting and you are starting with hello, how are you, but also plan to know Georgian more, because there are already 5 different forms of verbs, so 3 different tenses. Yeah. So that is all for today. If you have any questions regarding Georgian language or this particular lesson, let us know in the comments. And if you like it, let us know also by thumbs up, and of course subscribing to our channel, because then you will just get information about our next lesson. So that's a benefit. If you like it, I hope this is like a benefit from your perspective. Thank you very much for today, and see you in our next lesson. Bye bye.